having that expertise and being able to help solution with your clients is pretty rewarding. So that's also nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
There's
really
always-
think about comparing how you when you were younger to now.
Right. There's a little bit of a learning curve in the job that I do, but like when you have that confidence, you know you're an expert in your field, you can do consultations, you can talk to people.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, welcome to Life and Leadership Unfiltered. We're going to be filming outside from the Florida weather. Hopefully it doesn't rain on us. I have a very special guest who has worked for the same company for close to 30 years. She currently is the Director for Human Resources with a large healthcare organization. Welcome, Victoria Cutrufello.
Hello.
Here she is. All right.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
see
being here.
Sure.
We're out
So
in the
happy to do this.
Yes, we're out in the wild, I guess. Outdoor, warm weather. She's from the Northeast, so she celebrates the sun, so we get to go outside. She's on her break. Yeah, you're in your break?
Work break, which is really nice to just get out and take some time out.
That's right. Recharge, healthcare.
Yeah.
Today's topic is self-reflection. So when I first brought up this idea of Victoria being a guest on this podcast, I thought about all the transitions and changes that you've had to adapt, such as working in office, working from home, now managing household, helping 2 kids transition to college, and soon to be empty nester. Turning 50 has its own gifts and challenges.
So much.
Yes, managing your team members, and yet when we talked about your work history, you have been with one company
I
for
know.
close to 30 years.
That's just crazy to think about it now.
Your eyes lit up. I saw your eyes lit up. So,
like,
wow.
I've already put in 25 years of work in the same company. I think that says a lot though.
Yeah.
Company, and to just how my job's been always like challenging. I'm never bored at work. So never bored at work. It just keeps me going. And probably because I work in healthcare, and healthcare changes a lot. There's always changes going on. And, you know, we have to learn how to adapt quickly to that. But with that being said, change brings new problems, new solutions, new ideas. So I feel like I'm in a good position to do what I like to do. So I definitely love my job, which is good.
It's good to hear that, especially you've committed so many years and loving your job, and you talk about it with excitement. I see it in your face. And so what were like the most difficult changes that you've had to adapt to?
Well, in the last, I would say 5 or 6 years pre-COVID, I worked in a small department. There was only 4 of us, and we were pretty close-knit. We did work with other areas of the healthcare system. We work a lot with leadership, but we had transitioned to a bigger team. So we gained people that were under different leadership. So merging of 2 departments, that was pretty much a change, more so for the people we, you know, kind of were meshed together with. But it also just brought like new relationships, which was nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, new relationships. So that COVID, where we definitely had to adapt during COVID. We had to create new ideas of how to staff our inpatient centers with the people that we have that thankfully were not as sick, or like, you know, maybe create a kids camp. We did that. So really thinking fast, making quick decisions, and making things happen in COVID kind of proved to our team and pretty much a lot of healthcare systems that we can together, you know, change and adapt quickly. So I think a lot of employees in healthcare learned that pretty quick during COVID.
How is it now? Because now you've transitioned to working from home.
So working from home was interesting. You think working from home, you think, oh wow, you know, I don't have to get dressed from the waist down mostly, but that was a change, but more so, and to make sure I keep my professional boundaries not blurred with like my responsibilities at home. That was probably really hard because I'm in a part of the home now, which was a makeshift office, and that was a little difficult to create some boundaries with the family and my time, and really had to be more focused on having work-life balance for sure. That was a little difficult to go through, but you know, it's an adjustment, and I think now personally and professionally I'm dealing well with work-life balance, so that was a big change.
So would you say that it's still a work in progress, or you're pretty good in that area?
You know, I think I'm getting really good in that area, and specifically because, you know, it's a lot of self-talk, like you know, is family time, is work time. I am in a leadership position, so, you know, things happen outside of business hours that I do need to attend to, which is fine. But, you know, not anything is very critical to, you know, put aside your personal life. And that was a great balance. I think I'm doing really good at it because we have healthy boundaries, communicating with the family, and you know, we want our team to have the same type of healthy boundaries to continue to be productive in the work we do.
It sounds like you have a really good agreement and communication with your family to like clarify, right? I don't know if it's automatic for you, like, okay, mom, wife's working, so leave her alone.
There's
or
some
you've had
examples.
to have the conversation.
We've had to have a conversation.
Okay.
I'm physically here, but I'm working, so I can't have you interrupt me if you think I'm just not talking to anybody or not on a computer. So that was like, you need to pretend I'm like not here. And like, it's okay if you don't say goodbye when you leave to go to school, or, you know, there's no like, oh, you didn't say goodbye to me, or you're right there, things like that would happen. So we kind of had to make it clear, mom's work hours are these, and before or after, or if I come out, because I take breaks too during work. And if somebody's home, it's all about communication, that's for sure. And that has helped so greatly because the family doesn't feel like they need to talk to me because I'm there, and we just all feel safe and secure that mom's at work, and if she really needs us, she'll attend to us. So that was a transition, and you know, with communication, it worked. Yeah, communication. Oh, yes, for sure.
So, well, the theme of this title is self-reflection.
Yes.
So what would you like to reflect on most now that in your midlife, the years of experience, leadership, and transition?
So reflect on, I feel like at this point of my career, I more want to help develop the team. And not that I'm going away anytime soon, but like servant leadership. Like I always try to focus on how can I serve my team? How can I, you know, do the work that they need to do if they're, you know, overburdened, or help them develop, you know, teach them new tools, new tricks, and, you know, serve them and support them in the complexities they have, or for problem solving. That's where I think leaders need to be in a position like that, where they're just not self-serving. You need to develop your team, and it will create more efficiencies and better workflows and better outcomes and results at a quicker time.
Sounds like leaving behind a legacy, is that?
Yeah, it sounds like, you want to leave behind, you want to make sure your team is capable of doing all things if you weren't there.
So succession planning.
Yeah,
Moving on to different things that you could be passionate in your next life. Right? So what do you think the gifts are about turning 50 in your professional environment? How has that changed you?
A lot more comfortable in my skin. It's interesting that I say that. It's like, be professional in your professional environment, but be yourself, and the people that you talk to, they're human too. That's one thing I tell myself. We talk to a lot of leaders, physician leaders, and like executives and CEOs, and it's like, Be yourself and you'll get through it. So that, I feel like in the beginning stages, I was like, oh boy, big time CEO, how should I act? But the best is to just be yourself. They already know you're in the position that you're in for reasons, right? And you need to just like own your values, own your self-worth. So that's been like more
confident, building, turning 50. So it's not all downhill.
Right. No, it's not. It's actually a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, being in your own skin, comfortability in your own skin. I love that.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
So we talked about the gifts of turning 50. Was there anything else? You said confidence, being confident in your own skin, not caring as much. Anything else you think the gifts of turning 50?
Well, having expertise in your field, for sure. It's the gift, right? You're always learning. You still want to continue to learn, but like just having that expertise and being able to help solution with your clients is pretty rewarding. So that's also nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can really think about comparing how when you were younger to now.
Right. Yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve in the job that I do, but like when you have that confidence, you're an expert in your field, you can do consultations, you can talk to people, just off, if they give you a call, you kind of know how to lead them and guide them, and that's pretty rewarding. So that's a nice gift to have.
So confidence and expertise.
Yep.
What else?
Confidence, expertise, to continue to evolving. So like I'm that type that's always likes to learn. So I just like to continue to learn. And I think that's a good gift to have as you age, because you don't want to think that you know everything. Like, I don't ever want to feel like I know everything. I'm always looking to learn and, maybe like dabbling in other things.
Yeah. So it's so different, that transition, because I feel like when we're younger, we think we know everything. And then we get more wiser, and then to say like, I don't know everything.
There's always room for growth and improved self-improvement, and I like that. Yeah.
That is wonderful. So evolution you look forward to, right? Evolving.
Yeah.
Confidence and expertise. Those are really gifts of turning 50. Now, you want to address a little bit, what are the challenges?
Yeah, the
perhaps,
challenges.
if there is any.
Well, hormonally, there's challenges personally, like, you have to take care of your health a little bit better. And the other challenge is what I do start to think more about, which is maybe a lot of people probably do the same, is mortality. Like, oh my gosh, I have so much time behind me. I feel like I have less time in front of me in my future. So that's challenging for me, because it's like, did I do everything I wanted to do? Like, I feel like the span of time is grown shorter. That's not fun, because, no one wants to get old, but with age, there comes a lot of positives we talked about, but I tend to focus on some, like for challenges, just like life in general. Am I doing the things that are keeping me happy? And I want to make sure that I am. And everybody should, because you spend most of your time working and your other time with those that you love. So you want to keep those that you love close, and, you definitely want to love your job.
So she said, spend your time with more happiness.
Yes.
So sounds like purposefulness, right, is important on the being 50 and beyond. Right? Yeah, that's what the challenges is teaching you. What else is it teaching you? What's like really important to you then?
Well, important to me is family time. Less important is work time, which that comes in with evolving your work-life balance. I was such a go-getter. I was working overtime, and it wasn't because I felt like I needed it to succeed. I was very fortunate, actually. I proved myself, I guess, in a way that, I was tapped on. I did also want to succeed in my career, so I was very career-minded, and I was always looking for something that gave me the best challenge, right? But now it's more about balance, work-life balance. Keep those positive friendships and people that motivate you and, want to see you do good, keep them close. and you kind of learn how to, part ways with, things that don't make you feel so good. So those are other things that...
Being really intentional, it sounds like.
Yeah, really being intentional with your life as we are getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of kind of like a gift, turning the challenges into gifts, because that's what challenges bring us to, bring some clarity, right? What's important, because there are gifts to the challenges, I suppose. So it's a gift that keeps on giving.
That's a good way to put it.
So, in your transition, in your, like, what do you feel like the most important to you as you reflect? Now, we talked about purposeful work-life balance. It's a little bit abstract to me when people talk about work-life balance. Like, what is the balance? What you said, family, spending time with family, having more of what?
Having a hobby. That's not work. Like, having a hobby. That's I learned how to bake recently.
Ooh.
I enjoy cooking more. It's not like a chore anymore. When you're raising a family and you're, you have to feed your family, and it turns into just something that at one time when you were young, you loved to go food shopping. It was something, out of college, oh, this is fun. Food shopping trips turned into a chore, which now turned into, if you can spend time doing it and not like hurry up and cook dinner, it just like more hobbies, I would say. Just like more things that you want to explore outside of work. Always keep your family close. Spend as much time as you can, because your children, they grow so fast, and my children are in college now, so that's been a change. And it just like reminds me of like when I do see them, I want it to be valuable time and quality time, of course, and we do that. But hobbies is important, because I never really had a hobby.
So cooking, what else?
Cooking, walking, baking. I know how to make a cake from scratch now, which I'm 50. I didn't know how to do that. Yeah.
I don't think I know how to do that.
Sometimes I'm like, wow, like things like that. I think I want to learn how to sew.
What would you make?
I think I would just be like my own tailor, because it's hard for me to, buy clothes off the rack, because I'm small, like short, so I'm always getting things hemmed. But I was like, I wonder if I could do this myself. I want to try to do art, like art, paint.
Wow.
Yeah, like as I get older, I feel like I want to tap into other things that, like, do I have an artistic side? Do I like to read poetry? Things like that.
This is what I really admire about you, because you adapt really well to different changes. And even the way you talked about it, it sounds with excitement and anticipation. Yeah. And I think it allows you to tap into like a better life, creating a better life experience for you on, 50 and beyond.
Right. Which is crazy, 50.
So what mattered to you before? You kind of touched on a little bit, like you liked shopping, then it kind of like it became work. I don't like grocery shopping, by the way. Yeah. So what mattered to you back then when you were younger that, it was a big deal, but now it doesn't matter to you as much now that you're at this stage of your professional or personal? Well,
I guess work-wise, it mattered to me to be in a career that I really enjoyed. In the beginning, what's crazy is when I started my job that I've been in for 25 years, my mindset was, I'm only going to be here at this company for a year or two, and I want to go and kind of jump around, because I feel like that's like my personality too. I like to try different things and then settle on something that and after 5 years, I'm like, why am I still here? But within those 5 years, I had 3 different jobs. I just tried to keep learning and, doing, little things, different things at a time, like where I found myself, like I liked to do research and analytics, and I was able to run applications and like present reports, and that kind of like management really liked that. So like I became an analyst. Then I focused on, some of the things I'm doing now. So it kind of just like evolved. So now I'm comfortable. Now I'm like, where I always wanted to be. And I'm thankful because I did have several jobs, but I stayed at the same company. So I'm thankful for that growth opportunity and just the people that I work with, which is very important. I think I've just been so blessed with the people that I work with.
I do hear a lot of people that get bored, right? Because it sounds like, wow. Because I see you as adaptable, always changing, always growing. And then when we figure out how long you've been with the company, I was pretty shocked, as I think you were.
Yep.
But then it sounds like that company organization really gave you enough challenges and room for growth, and you were able to move around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I guess another challenge I would say, Charlene, now that we're talking, is like when we talk sometimes, I'm always like, am I ready for something else? Am I feeling a little too comfortable? Because I don't like to feel like that. And I think why is because I always want to be challenged. So having that comfort where you can, talk to people and having that expertise really is amazing, right? But you're also like, oh, well, maybe I can make room for something else, right? Maybe I can make room for something a little bit more challenging. Am I ready to do that?
Yeah.
But I always struggle with, like, I work with such great people that the grass isn't always greener.
Right.
But, like, I have to figure that out. Like, do I want to take a leap?
Balance.
Yeah, I have to figure out the balance. Am I still good? Because I'm still being challenged in some areas, but like there's a little piece of me that's like, I'm a little comfortable. Maybe I could dabble in something else. But maybe then I focus on these hobbies that I talk about. Right?
There were a number.
Yeah.
There were quite a few.
Yeah, like I would like to, like, even if I try 10 things and those 10 things don't work out, I at least feel like, well, I dabbled in art a little bit. It wasn't for me. Maybe I'll find a passion in the personal life that can balance things, because I'm so I like where I am now.
So I feel like you're the kind of person that's really curious, that really looks at your environment and looks for opportunity to grow and leverage, and I really like that about you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm you're making me think of like an opportunistic, but I do like to see what's out there.
Yeah.
I do like to see what's out there and what I think I would like to do.
Yeah. Well, like seeing your opportunity in the environment, right? And that aligns with your values, that aligns with your happiness, that aligns with your purpose.
Yes.
Right? And I think we have to be proactive with that. So I think your way of looking at things, to see the opportunity where it aligns, so that, because you said happiness was important to you. Yeah. So if you could give an advice to someone, the younger version of you, perhaps in their early stages of their career, what would you say to them?
Don't be afraid to form relationships at work with different areas, different departments. I'm just trying to think back at my old self. Make sure you do what you like to do. And if you don't, it's okay to try something else. So you might think that you have this degree and when you do what the degree represents and it just doesn't work out, and it's okay. Try something else. You go to college to figure out what you want to do, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. And people, I think the generations below us though, like the younger people, are really good at, finding things that they like to do. I feel like they do hold that happiness close to them, and they are willing to change jobs and things like that. I was similar to that, but it just ended up that it wasn't a job or in an organization that helped me grow. So if you connect with a good organization and there's growth and opportunity, then that is key. But if you're not, that's okay, because you can always go somewhere else. Yeah. And it's okay if you're in a job and you just love it so much and you have growth in that job, that job, there could be different levels of that job. That's great too. Just be happy in your work, and just know that work does take up a third of your day, and the other third you're sleeping. So you do want
It's pretty important.
Yes, it's pretty important. Yeah. You want to go to work. You want to wake up every day where you're just like, oh, what do I have to do today? You don't want to wake up like, oh, I got to go to work, because I would say that's a red flag.
Yeah. That's a really good advice.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's not that, I don't do that. I sometimes am like, oh, I have to work today. Well, like today's a great example. It's gorgeous out and I'm working, but that's what breaks are for. You take a lunch break and you enjoy the outside.
And spending time here with us, folks.
Exactly. So that's part of the balance too. Make sure you have that, because you'll always be a better employee for your employer. You'll be more productive. I'm going to go back. I'm ready to tackle the afternoon.
Yeah, sense of well-being and physical health. I think that's really important, a balance, right? So it sounds like permission to explore. And you're very curious. I think you explored back then, and you still hold that skill for your approach and being really curious, because now you're curious about all kinds of hobbies. And
Even I was saying that
you learned something.
I'm learning something new about myself
after having this conversation.
Yeah. So I'm more concerned about my personal well-being now. Whereas maybe when I was younger, I was like work. But I loved it. But I think I was a little bit of a workaholic, to be honest. And through the years of, having a family, getting married, having kids, raising kids, you tend to notice that more, that, you don't want to miss things. You don't want to miss your kids doing things. And I have noticed that maybe I was becoming a little bit of a workaholic, but so now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? Work is good. They don't need me.
You set it up.
Yeah, I set it up for exactly. That's why, you want to have people to know how to do your job. You want to be able to say, hey team, you guys got this. I need a day off. So that, I think, has changed me in the work life. So personally now I feel like, all right, well, I'm not working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I have time at night. So learning how to bake, figuring things out. So I guess in that sense, I want to kind of focus on the personal side. Although you don't want to get too comfortable at work, right?
True.
You always want to be, if a lot of organizations are going through change, there's layoffs or there's restructures, companies are buying other companies, and that's, that also is impacted in the healthcare industry. So you always want to feel a little ready, if something were to happen. So I think I feel comfortable in that sense too, because I have my CV, I have things built, I have things ready to go, and if it happens, it happens. I can't stress about that. If I have to part ways with the job that I love, I just think about it positively. If that closes, something else is going to happen and it'll be good.
That's the confidence right there.
Yeah, a lot of positive self-talk is definitely a healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it seems
I try to keep doing that
too.
Yeah, and I feel more at peace with the work. So why not? Why not, do a little bit more things that traveling. I have trips planned this year,
Yes, we do.
and I don't think I've had trips planned in the past 5 years like that. So it's
really?
we're going somewhere this month and we have a trip planned. I love that. So traveling, I definitely want to do a lot more of. It just makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
Which in turn, I'm a way better employee.
Yes.
Because I'm happy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's another gift for turning 50.
That is
that really being enjoying life, because you said it earlier. You said, there's a wall at the end, perhaps, and you don't know when. And right. So now you better enjoy.
Right.
Live
in the present.
So the one thing that I recently came across a learning that really impacted me, and I want to know your opinion about this. Are you good for time? Are you okay with time?
Yeah.
She's on the break, so I got to be respectful of her time. I always said it's not about the journey. It's not about the destination, but it's the journey. But I heard something else that was so impactful. He said it's not, because I've been repeating, it's the journey. Smell the roses. Enjoy the journey. Someone said it's the company.
Oh.
So it's not the journey, really.
I like that.
It's not the destination, but it's the company you keep.
Wow. That is...
What do you think about that?
I love that. I love that because like I was saying before, like you want to keep people that lift you up and, have similar, motivate you. And you want to be able to just like recognize the negative and there's always toxic people and negative people, but you don't have to be around them. Like, put yourself be in good company. Like, if you're good company, be in good company. And like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And that might be something with the people that I work with on my team. Like,
yeah,
I've been with my leader for 25 years. 25 years. And we know how to.
Company.
She is great company, right? Like, we have a friendship, but we also have like a great professional relationship that we just like, we separate and it just works.
Yeah. This is another version of, there's so much research about in employees and organizations that they're more fulfilled and their happiness index is higher when they have really good relationships at work. So again, that indicates about how important it is the company that you have or you make, because when the company is not so good, how does that impact you and our well-being, our emotions? Because
didn't you say, or somebody's, it's not always about when you leave a job. When you leave a job, it's almost always never about the job.
I did say that.
It's about
people quit people.
People quit people. That is so true.
So that's the importance of relationships.
Yes.
The company that
the company that you keep.
That blew me away too. And you're awesome company.
You are
She
too.
is awesome company.
You are too. I'm glad we're friends.
Yes. Me too.
Yeah.
Say thank you. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye again.